The UK's 2024 autumn budget has just dropped, and while Rachel Reeves didn't highlight it in her speech, there were some unexpected updates on ISAs buried in the fine print. For months, investors feared a potential ISA raid in Labour's plans, a move that really could have shaken up our tax-free savings and investing strategies. Fortunately, the £20,000 yearly cap for cash and stocks and shares ISAs remains untouched for now. But there's a twist. The budget quietly forecasts an extra $605 million a year from ISAs by 2030. So what does that really mean for investors like us? Let's dive into the key changes for investors in this budget. The government has raised capital gains tax from 10% to 18% for basic rate taxpayers and from 20% to 24% for higher rate taxpayers. That means that any gains above your £3,000 capital gains allowance will now be taxed at these higher rates based on your income bracket. That's a notable jump for those with general investment accounts. So here's a quick example. If you're a basic rate taxpayer and realize £10,000 in gains over the year, you'll now pay 18% on that £7,000, leaving you with a tax bill of £1,260. As a higher rate taxpayer, you'd be paying £1,680 on your gain. Compare this to a few years ago when the capital gains allowance was £12,300. In 2022, you wouldn't have paid a penny on those same gains. Now that tax-free buffer has shrunk and the capital gains tax rate has increased, people will be left with a hefty tax bill. For new investors especially, this shift makes using an ISA crucial. A few years ago, you might have gotten away with a general investment account because of that tax-free allowance, but with these higher taxes, an ISA is more important than ever for protecting your gains. One surprising statistic in the UK is that only 7% of adults contribute to a stocks and shares ISA. For many, it's simply due to a lack of awareness, and that's exactly what we aim to address here on the channel. So if you're not investing yet in an ISA, now is a great time to consider it. One of my favorite platforms is Trading 212, and I'll leave a link in the description where you can sign up and even receive some free shares to kickstart your investing journey. Now, if the government didn't change the ISA rules, where is this projected $605 million in tax revenue coming from? Well, the answer lies in the £20,000 ISA cap, which has been frozen since 2017 and is expected to stay that way until at least 2030. Meanwhile, during this time, inflation has surged. If the ISA cap had kept pace with inflation, we'd be looking at an allowance closer to £25,970 in 2024. This freeze effectively lowers the real value of the cap over time, squeezing investors who may reach it sooner than expected. More investors will eventually max out that £20,000 cap and will need to invest additional funds outside of their ISA. That will most likely be in general investment accounts that are subject to capital gains tax. This is where the government anticipates its extra revenue coming from, and even if people spend instead of invest, the government gains through VAT. So there are a few strategies to make the most of your tax-free options. For example, if you're in a position to do so, consider using your partner's ISA allowance too, doubling your annual amount to £40,000 versus £20,000. You could also boost your pension contributions, which have their own valuable tax advantages, but still, ISAs remain one of the best investment vehicles in the UK. Could we see a future ISA raid with something like a withdrawal tax or decreasing that limit? It's possible, but with so few people using them, ISAs may not be a big enough tax target just yet. There are likely bigger, more impactful changes that could make first. So what's the key takeaway here? In the end, the message is clear. General investment accounts are becoming less attractive as taxes increase. ISAs and other tax-efficient accounts are more crucial than ever right now. And while we may not see an ISA raid just yet, it's a good idea to stay informed on these trends. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.